Welcome back to FCC Knows Mental Health. Today we will be discussing boundaries for the holidays, ways to enjoy the holidays and keep your family from driving you crazy. Boundaries for the holidays. The holidays are meant to be a joyous time that includes parties, vacation from work, and the opportunity for families to gather together. For many people, though, the holidays bring a period of uncomfortable conflict or awkward conversations that strain relationships. This material presented today is excerpt from books, Boundaries, and How to Have That Difficult Conversation You've Been Avoiding, written by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. We will be focusing on the two most common situations that families encounter during the holidays. The first one we'll be talking about is dealing with awkward relatives or unpleasant behavior, and then we will discuss setting boundaries when your family gets too close for comfort. Dealing with an awkward relative or unpleasant family behavior. For some people, the holiday season represents running through a gauntlet of awkward relationship situations, such as sitting through uncomfortable conversations with relatives you rarely see and know, interacting at parties with intoxicated or obnoxious people, or enduring intrusive comments from well-meaning family members. The holidays offer unique circumstances where you may need to set boundaries with people who don't understand how their behavior affects you. If someone in your life behaves in a way that causes problems, but they don't know their behavior is a problem, you may be dealing with unawareness. It can be something bothersome but not dangerous, or it can be something life-threatening as such things such as alcohol, drug, or prescription pill addiction. You may be acutely aware of the issue yourself, much more than the person with the problem, or you may want to address it with the person for their sake and yours. And at the same time, you may be at loss on how helpfully to approach that person. Implementing these 7 steps to help that person come to awareness and find a solution to the problem can be effective. So here are 7 steps to help someone move from awkwardness to awareness. So the first one presented is take a presumed innocent approach. Until you know better, assume a person is innocent of bad motives or intents and approach them accordingly. If that person truly does not know what they are doing, there's a good chance that they may need compassion and gentleness from you. Being innocently unaware is a far cry from being resistant, defensive, or blaming. The other person may simply be unable to comprehend the problem, or perhaps they are afraid to see it or does not possess the tools to look at themselves in that manner. In other cases, they may simply not know the full extent of the severity of the issue, how it may be impacting their life, as well as the relationship you may have with that person. They may not want to know something about themselves because it would interfere with their concept of their own goodness and perfection. Taking a presumed innocent approach starts with the stance that all the person being confronted needs is some basic information, and also giving them room to provide their own input on the question. When a person genuinely is not aware, often making them aware is all the nudge needed for change to take place. Number 2, be humble. Approach the person and the situation humbly. Humility is not about perceiving yourself as lower than you are. It has to do with perceiving yourself as you really are, with both weaknesses and strengths. A humble approach sounds like this. I want to make you aware that sometimes you control the situation in our relationship and others. Please don't misunderstand where I'm coming from here. This isn't about putting you down or saying that I'm better. I have many things that I've been working on for some time, so I'm in the same position you are. My intent is to let you know about the problem, not as a judge, but as a friend. Number 3, empathize. Empathy is the ability to identify with the feelings of another person. Think of times when someone was unloving or harsh with you, when they told you about a problem you had that you were unaware of. Think also of those occasions in which someone made you aware of a problem and you were able to receive it well. Most likely, the second person gave you empathy and warmth along with the truth. When you are aware of your own needs for empathy and kindness, the dynamic between you and the other person changes. 4. Find out how unaware is unaware. Some people, for various reasons, have little self-awareness. They possess little ability to look at themselves and perceive what they are doing or why they are doing it. They have often not had many relational experiences in which they had to look at themselves. This type of person usually suffered from lack of awareness. You may need to shepherd a person like this into the world of awareness. They may not fully understand what you are telling them, so don't be impatient with them. Clarity and specificity gives the person some association with their behaviors and their relationship with you as well. 5. Be direct. When you need to make someone aware of a problem, the best approach is always to be loving but direct. If a person does not know what they are doing, it is no favor to them to hint around or be indirect about what you know is true. Remember that they may be blind to this behavior, so they may not have a context for understanding it. We often are indirect out of a desire to be kind or to not hurt the person's feelings. Yet sparing feelings now can lead to injuries later. It is certainly possible that it will cause the person you are confronting discomfort or pain. This is one of the effects of the truth. It makes us uncomfortable as it points out a problem. However, your directness can also give life to someone who needs it. 6. Be specific. Specifics add substance and meaning to your presentation of a problem. They flesh out what you are trying to convey and clarify the point you are trying to make. When you use specific examples, approach the person anticipating that at first is likely to be open to what you have to show them. Often a good-hearted person will be surprised at seeing evidence of a problem. Sometimes they will even be remorseful, feeling bad about the effects of their actions. These types of responses are good indicators that this person is taking the specifics to heart and will do the work needed to resolve the issue. Even if the person proves to be more resistant, however, don't avoid giving specifics. Specifics can help break through defenses. 7. Request change. When helping a person become aware, make sure you make a request for change. Since they have not realized until now that their behavior or attitude may be a problem, they may also not know what to do about it or even if they should do anything. Requesting change helps clarify what is expected and gives that person a structure for reestablishing any connection between you and them. A request for change is specific. It also preserves freedom. In other words, it is not a demand. You are aware that the person has a choice. Also, a request should originate from your heart. It needs to be based on your care for and about the person. Here are some ways to ask for change. So, I'd like for you to refrain from cursing in front of the kids. They hear you and might repeat what you say. This is something that may appear very frequently, especially around the holidays with family, from visiting family and things of such matters. Another one includes, when I'm talking, I would like for you to let me finish my thoughts and sentences before responding. When your family gets too close for comfort, how to set boundaries. 8 steps to resolve boundary problems with your family. Establishing boundaries with your family members is a tough task, but one with great reward. It is a process that follows these 8 steps. 1. Identify the symptom. Look at your own life situation and see where boundary problems exist with your parents and siblings. The basic question is this: where have you lost control of your property? Identify those areas and see their connection with the family you grew up in, and you are on your way. 2. Identify the conflict. Discover what dynamic is playing out. Do you take responsibility for a sibling or parent instead of being responsible to them? Do you fail to enforce consequences and end up paying for their behavior? Are you passive and reactive toward them in the conflict? You cannot stop acting out a dynamic until you understand what you are doing. Then you will be able to see clearly to deal with your family members. See yourself as the problem and find your boundary violations. 3. Identify the need that drives the conflict. You do not act in inappropriate ways for no reason. You are often trying to meet some underlying need that your family or of origin did not meet. Maybe we are still entangled because of a need to be loved or approved of or accepted. 4. Practice boundary skills. Your boundary skills are fragile and new. You can't take them immediately into a difficult situation. Practice them in situations where they will be honored and respected. Begin saying no to people in your supportive group who will love and respect your boundaries. When you are recovering from a physical injury, you do not pick up the heaviest weight first. You build up to the heavy stuff. Look at it as you would physical therapy. 5. Say no to the bad. In addition to practicing new skills in safe situations, avoid hurtful situations. When you are in the beginning stages of recovery, you need to avoid people who have abused and controlled you in the past. When you think you are ready to reestablish a relationship with someone who has been abusive and controlling in the past, bring a friend or supporter along. Be aware of your pull toward hurtful situations and relationships. The injury you are recovering from is serious, and you can't reestablish a relationship until you have the proper tools. 6. Forgive the aggressor. Nothing clarifies boundaries more than forgiveness. 7. Respond. Don't react. When you react to something that someone says or does, you may have a problem with boundaries. If someone is able to cause havoc by doing or saying something, they are in control of you at that point, and your boundaries may get lost. When you respond, you remain in control with options and choices. If you feel yourself reacting, step away and regain control of yourself so your family members can't force you to do or say something you don't want to do or say, and something that violates your separateness. When you have kept your boundaries, choose the best option. The difference between responding and reacting is choice. When you are reacting, they are in control. When you respond, you are. 8. Learn to love in freedom and responsibility, not in guilt. The best boundaries are loving ones. The person who has to remain forever in a protective mode is losing out on love and freedom. Practice a purposeful giving to increase your freedom. Sometimes people who are building boundaries feel that to do someone a favor is codependent. In contrast, doing good for someone when you freely choose to do it is boundary enhancing. Setting boundaries does not mean to stop loving your family. It means the opposite. You are gaining freedom to love. It is good to sacrifice and deny yourself for the sake of others. But you need these boundaries to make that choice, especially during the holidays. And that is all that we have for today for this edition of FCC Knows Boundaries with your family for the holidays. And from the bottom of our hearts, we hope this season brings forth great joy. We hope that our viewers have a wonderful Christmas and happy holidays. And thank you for watching. See you next time.